six-woman crew, which includes the pop singer Katy Perry, will blast off to the edge of space today.
Remember when doors needed someone to actually open them? Well, that Blue Origin capsule door didn't get the memo, swinging open by itself before Jeff Bezos could even reach for the handle. It's just one of the bizarre glitches in Katy Perry's supposed journey to space that has everyone talking.
1, 2, 3, taking up space! Woo!
The internet detectives haven't missed a thing, from the perfectly timed camera angles to the suspiciously short 11-minute mission that cost millions. When Perry dramatically kissed the ground after barely leaving Earth's atmosphere, even casual viewers started asking, wait, did this actually happen? Quick tea break before we launch into Katy's 11-minute mission. Over 90% of people watching this channel aren't subscribed. And trust me, if celeb drama and eyebrow-raising stunts like this are your thing, you do not want to miss what's coming. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you stay in the loop with the wildest celebrity stories out there. It helps us out a ton, and let's be honest, we've got way better receipts than mainstream media. All right, now let's get into this so-called space saga, the 11-minute mission that broke the internet. Did you notice how Katy Perry spent more time talking about her space trip than actually being in space? Let's break down this so-called historic mission.
1, 2, 3, taking up space! Woo!
That lasted shorter than an episode of Friends. The NS-31 mission was essentially a glorified elevator ride, a brief 11-minute journey that barely crossed the Kármán line, which is the internationally recognized boundary of space. While real astronauts spend months or even years preparing for missions that can last for weeks or months, Perry and her crew got the Celebrity Express package, a quick up and down that somehow warranted endless interviews and social media posts. What's really telling is how Perry described this mini journey in almost spiritual terms, calling it the highest high and a surrender to the unknown trust. She even ranked it as second to being a mom in terms of life-changing experiences. That's quite the dramatic take for something that lasted about as long as it takes to microwave a frozen dinner. Real female astronauts like Christina Koch and Jessica Meir, who spent over 300 days in space conducting actual scientific research, might have a word or two about Perry's definition of a space mission. The training for this expedition was equally laughable. While NASA astronauts undergo years of intensive preparation, the Blue Origin passengers received a crash course lasting just 2 days. This wasn't exactly rocket science. They learned essentials like how to buckle a seatbelt and the proper way to enter and exit the capsule. It's the space equivalent of learning how to operate a self-checkout machine at the grocery store. Perhaps the most cringeworthy moment came when Perry decided to serenade her fellow passengers by singing "What a Wonderful World," while experiencing brief moments of weightlessness. CBS Morning's co-host Gayle King, who was also on the flight, called this the best part of the experience. Perry claimed her song choice wasn't about her, but about a collective energy and making space for future women. Sure, because nothing says paving the way for women in space, like floating around for 3 minutes while performing a Louis Armstrong classic. The internet wasn't buying it. Social media exploded with skepticism almost immediately after footage was released. Users described the video as fake as hell and questioned whether the crew actually experienced weightlessness. Some even went as far as suggesting the entire mission was staged in a studio, a theory we'll explore more in the next section. What's particularly frustrating about this mission is how Blue Origin marketed it as some groundbreaking feminist achievement. 6 women went to space together? History was made. But let's be real, this wasn't about advancing women in science or space exploration. There was no scientific purpose to this trip whatsoever. It was a publicity stunt wrapped in empowerment language, which feels especially hollow when you consider that actual female astronauts have been conducting meaningful work in space for decades without the celebrity fanfare. After returning to Earth, Perry took performative gratitude to new heights by dropping to her knees and kissing the ground, a gesture that might make sense after months in orbit, but seems a bit excessive after being gone for roughly the duration of a coffee break.
Katy!
It's this kind of theatrical response that had viewers rolling their eyes and questioning the authenticity of the entire experience. The kicker? This elaborate carnival ride comes with a price tag that would make even the most extravagant theme park blush. Seats on Blue Origin flights are estimated to cost between $400,000 and $5 million each. Some speculate that celebrities like Perry might have been invited as brand ambassadors, potentially receiving their tickets for free. Back in 2021, someone actually paid $28 million at auction for a seat on a Blue Origin flight. That's not exploration, that's extreme luxury tourism. Critics have rightfully questioned whether these resources could be better allocated, especially considering the environmental impact of launching these joyrides and the many pressing issues facing our planet. As one social media user pointedly asked, "With everything happening in the world right now, is this really where we should be directing our attention and resources?" Okay, if you thought things were wild so far, you're gonna want to hang on. Before we show you the smoking gun that's making people scream "fake" all over the internet, real quick, over 90% of viewers aren't subscribed yet. If you love dissecting celeb chaos, shady PR moves, and secret symbolism hidden in plain sight, click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because what we're about to show you next, it might just change how you see this entire space trip. Seriously, stay for this. It's juicy. The smoking gun, video evidence that doesn't add up. Those resources weren't just potentially wasted, they might not have been used for space travel at all. When eagle-eyed viewers started examining the footage from Perry's Blue Origin landing, they spotted something that seems impossible to explain away. The capsule door opening completely on its own before Jeff Bezos or anyone else touched it. This wasn't just a minor detail. It's potentially the smoking gun that has internet sleuths questioning everything about this so-called mission. Let's examine what happened. As the capsule returned to Earth and settled in the desert, cameras captured the door mysteriously swinging open seconds before Bezos approached it. There's no visible crew member, no automated mechanism being activated, and certainly no explanation from Blue Origin about how a sealed spacecraft door could just pop open by itself. Frame-by-frame analysis shows absolutely nobody touching the door, yet it opens as if by magic, or perhaps, as conspiracy theorists suggest, by someone behind the scenes making a timing error in what might have been an elaborately staged production. The self-opening door is just the beginning of the visual oddities. Have you ever noticed how the lighting and camera angles in the Blue Origin footage seem suspiciously perfect? Space is notoriously difficult to film. Just ask NASA, whose genuine footage often appears grainy with extreme contrast between light and shadows. Yet somehow, Blue Origin captured crystal clear, perfectly lit shots that some visual experts have pointed out bear more resemblance to a controlled studio environment than the harsh conditions of space. When compared side by side with authentic space mission recordings, the differences become even more apparent. Real space footage shows distinctive lighting patterns, cameras shake from microgravity adjustments, and physics that simply don't match what we see in the Blue Origin videos. It's these inconsistencies that have led some to question whether this trip reached space at all, or if it was merely elaborately produced content designed to generate headlines. What's particularly suspicious is Blue Origin's history of tightly controlled media access. Unlike NASA, which has a long tradition of transparency, Bezos' company has maintained strict limitations on who can witness their launches and landings, what cameras are allowed, and what footage gets released. This carefully managed environment makes independent verification nearly impossible and creates the perfect conditions for controlling the narrative, whether that narrative is completely authentic or not. Then there's the mission patch worn by the crew, which has become the center of its own conspiracy spiral. The design features a spaceship, star, firework, film reel, shooting star microphone, and scales of justice. Innocent enough at first glance. However, conspiracy theorists have pointed out that when flipped upside down, some see what they describe as a satanic goat with an upside-down cross. While this sounds outlandish, these symbol-hunting detectives have used such observations to fuel broader theories about the mission's true purpose. Perhaps the most bizarre element was Perry's butterfly prop moment. During the brief period of weightlessness, she released a butterfly that revealed the set list for her upcoming tour. What seemed like a simple promotional opportunity has been connected by some online theorists to Project Monarch, a purported CIA mind control program. The butterfly, long associated with transformation in mainstream culture, carries darker connotations in conspiracy circles as a symbol of mind control, adding yet another layer to theories that this mission was engineered for purposes beyond what was publicly stated. Blue Origin's approach to documenting their flights differs dramatically from how actual space agencies operate. The lack of raw, unedited footage, the perfect cinematography, and the carefully choreographed moments all contribute to what critics describe as an experience designed for social media consumption rather than historical documentation of actual space travel. When you place all these visual inconsistencies alongside the trivial nature of the journey itself, a pattern emerges that's hard to ignore. Was this truly a groundbreaking moment in space tourism, or simply an elaborately crafted PR stunt designed to generate buzz for both Perry's career and Bezos' space company? The evidence suggests that manufacturing content, not advancing space exploration, was the primary mission objective. So we've seen all the evidence, and let's be real. This whole space mission reeks of a PR stunt designed to boost Katy Perry's relevance and Jeff Bezos' ego. But beyond the cringe factor, there's a more serious issue at play. Celebrity vanity flights like this face mounting criticism from environmentalists and public figures alike. Emily Ratajkowski expressed her disgust, questioning the resources allocated to such missions given the state of our world. Dr. Kai-Uwe Schroegel from the European Space Agency highlighted the stark contrast between these joyrides and the meaningful work of professional astronauts who actually advance science for humanity's benefit. Professor Eloise Murray warns about the environmental impact of these rockets, releasing water vapor and greenhouse gases just so celebrities can grab Instagram-worthy content. While real female astronauts make sacrifices for scientific advancement, these publicity stunts merely squander resources on the ultra-wealthy playing astronaut. Next time you see a celeb floating in space, remember what's really at stake: our planet's future versus a billionaire's plaything. So now that you've seen all the footage, fan theories, and shady details, what do you think? Was this a real trip to space or a next-level PR stunt built for Instagram and headlines? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear everything. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell, because next week's video, let's just say, another A-lister might be headed to space, and the internet already has questions. See you next time.